Hello my friends, Jacobs here one more time. Thank you for pressing play, for spending a little quality time with me, a little QT, while we talk about the gaff master himself, President Joe Biden. That's right, Joe Biden. He just said something so silly, right? God save the Queen. That's right, of course, the Queen. She's already, she's dead. So there's the king. So a lot of people are like, oh, he's just such a goofball. He's always making these goofy things happen, whether it's him trying to, sniff somebody and he thinks nobody's looking, or if he's trying to grab some desperate housewife booby, like he just did with Eva Longoria, so they say, allegedly. I'm not saying he was trying to grab a little side booby, but it kind of looked that way, and a lot of people are talking about it, which is pretty funny because everything's kind of in the United States seems to be just falling apart, and stuff around the world just seems to be out of control. But we should be talking about these goofy things. That's right. Like when he had a problem walking up the stairs and he tripped up the stairs, and it really reminded me that everybody is actually on some kind of incredible Truman Show-like experience, because that's what it was to me, at least. I mean, the two of them walking towards the stairs, and then they stop, and then they walk up the stairs, and then he bumbles around, and how they leave, and how the actual plane, the side of the plane, the color of the plane, and the door, and everything, it just like matches up perfectly. I'm not saying that, of course, that we're in the Truman Show, but it seems like when we see stuff like this, there's something going on. It's very strange. Oh man, does it make life interesting. Isn't this fun? All the things that we're doing together. Looking at all this weird stuff play out the way it is. So, the fact that he says God save the Queen, it wasn't something that just made me think, oh, I gotta quickly grab my phone and set everything up and do like a ton of research and find everything to be connected to everything that you would never expect in a million gabillion years. But yet it does connect to a lot of stuff, present day included. It's very strange. Didn't expect that. Because I'm thinking, oh, he's an old guy. He was probably just saying something goofy walking off stage. But nothing in the Truman Show is done without purpose, right? So everything kind of plays out the way it's supposed to play out. It's all scripted, you see. It's all scripted. It's been pre-planned. This whole thing. That's why I coined the term "we're biding our time," because I saw something bigger playing out. So I decide to, I get a little inspiration. An idea pops into my mind and into my heart. Look up a dystopian movie that is connected to the words "God Save the Queen." Don't ask me why. That was what popped into my mind. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that I was doing cardio, and I thought that this whole thing, I said, why is everybody talking about it? I thought it was a little overblown. So I prayed, what am I supposed to do? And then boom, there is the answer. Get this little thing. Well, it turns out that God Save the Queen is a pivotal part and an important pivotal scene in the movie V for Vendetta. You might remember the movie. It aired back in the day, during the Bush days. It's strange that I think to myself, well, why is this God Save the Queen such an important thing? Okay, so he's speaking at this event, the National Safer Community Summit. Okay, so they're talking about gun control and all this stuff. And then he goes on and he says this.
Now, as some of you know, I'd usually come down and say hi to all of you. They tell me there's a storm coming in. Is that right? Is that still the deal? That's the truth. Now, don't make a lie. As that scene in the John Wayne movie, don't make me a dog-faced lion pony soldier.
It's strange. He says that something or someone tells him that a storm is coming. Is a storm coming? And they're like, no. It's already here, or something like that. Very strange. Because, of course, we know, speaking of, the storm that Donald Trump said was coming a long time ago in this clip.
You guys know what this represents? Well, it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storming?
Could be the calm before the storm.
They tell me There's a storm coming in. Is that right? Is that still the deal?
We have the world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening.
He's all like, I got the greatest military minds with me here today. You know what this is? This is the calm before the storm. Because, of course, the storm is coming. So it's strange that Biden decides to say, God save the Queen, after saying, and referencing the storm that is coming. But it gets weirder than that. Because this storm that is supposed to be coming, that a lot of people online are saying, and it's become memes, all of these memes with the, here's the storm, or the storm's this, or the storm's that. Interesting. It all surrounds, something to do with an election. Isn't that something? You know what's weird? Okay, so when Donald Trump was originally elected, when he was elected in as president back in 2016, well, guess what? Biden said God save the Queen in reference to that. Take a listen.
Of the 115th Congress, the chair declares the joint session dissolved. God save the Queen. God save the Queen.
So the last time he says this, God save the Queen, was when the Democrats were basically leaving, and it was Trump's first days in office. Now he says, God save the Queen again. And the question remains, is the empire dead, as Jack Dorsey says? And is this a whole big operation? Has it been planned from the beginning, and that the storm is here? But then the question becomes, is Biden in on the storm? Well, it's strange. He says, God save the Queen, and that's connected to the movie V for Vendetta. There's a scene in the movie where the characters, the director is taking the lead character into a back room, has to go through the wine to get inside. And inside, they had a bunch of art that was wasn't legal to have. And she sees this painting called God Save the Queen. But what it has is, it has a dictator, the dictator, as if the dictator was the queen. This is interesting because the dictator in that movie, well, this guy right here, many times Biden has been compared to this guy right here. That painting of the dictator, the wannabe dictator, dressed as a queen. It's strange. Because, of course, what happened just recently at the White House as well, with their embarrassment and their shame of having this day, which was supposed to be about inclusion, but it turned out to be, just a raucous event where, you speaking of boobies, they were being flashed. And I don't know why I'm saying boobies so much today, but the comparison between the dictator in that movie and the dictator that Fox News says is Biden today, where this was a big controversy recently, where the two of them, they were, they put two speeches that were happening at the same time together next to each other, and Biden looked like he was, like a dictator, and he was like slamming, whereas Trump seemed like he was all laid back, and everything was, copacetic, baby, because the storm is here. So it almost becomes something where you say, is God Save the Queen code? Is God Save the Queen code? Because he said it at the beginning of Trump's presidency. Is now God Save the Queen saying it again? And who is the Queen? I put a little tweet out there, a little joke, right, about it being the Queen of the South, the Queen of the South. I just did a whole video about this. If you haven't seen the last video, check it out. It was a good one. A lot of people are really enjoying it. Is that the queen that Biden's saying to save? The Queen of the South? The Queen of the Demons? Or is it all just some weird coinky-dinky-do? I don't know. But I had to share that with all of you because I find it to be incredibly sus. Totally sus, man. Hey, you know what? If you're new to the channel, I welcome you. I'm Jacob Israel. Any of the stuff that you just heard, I don't even know what I'm talking about. These are just things that just come to me, and it just turns out a lot of stuff lines up. So don't get too freaked out about any of this, because in the grand scheme of things, God's in control, and you don't got to worry about nothing. All you got to do is have faith and love and rejoice, because the day is here. That painting, that God Save the Queen painting, represented the desire to overthrow the oppressive and intolerant regime that tells you how to think and how to behave, to restore power and freedom. Very interesting, because that is the kind of the day that we're in right now, after all. All right. I hope that you can, share the video around, tell your friends, have the best day ever. This wasn't a big-time planned program. If you can, get yourself God is a Champion merch. In the description of the video below is the Jacob's Ladder, store that my boy Noah designed, and all this stuff that you want, from the buckle up stuff to the I am a witness stuff. By the way, I got a show coming about the witnesses of God, and all this stuff is connected to Trump, and I'm really excited. I've been working on it for a couple of days. But if you want anything, please do go into the link, the descriptions of the video, and just click on it, check some stuff out if you want to get yourself a copy of The Calling, of course, on Amazon.com. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to people on PayPal and all that you do. It means the world to me, okay? The Calling is doing great. So you tell me in the comments section if you think all that stuff was weird. And if you think that there is some kind of connection and they're speaking in some kind of code. Or I'm just, I just got to, I don't know, I'll get back to teaching about the Bible, because that makes a lot more sense to me than what's happening today. All right, I love each and every one of you. Enjoy the trailer, the concept trailer to my novel, The Calling, and have the best day ever. I love you. Bye-bye.
September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. Like the light that led men from the East to a child in a manger, it could well be a sign of good things to come. Thomas James shall be his name. The world will change because of him. In the small town of Bethel, in a time not unlike our own, a child with a great purpose is born. Years later, alienated by his peers and abused, Thomas suffers a devastating loss. When it appears he has nothing left to live for in the world, this is when his true calling begins. While trying to escape the sinister powers that be, a terrifying vision haunts him. Miraculous events seem to follow the peculiar young man as he struggles to come to terms with what he was born to do. The stage is set. The time is at hand. The truth will rise and a revolution will begin. The startling revelation of who Thomas James is, truly, will change the lives of those around him and set off a chain of events long ago foretold. There is more to this novel than one might think. Inside these pages hides a treasure just waiting to be discovered. So if you've ever wondered if there's more to life, or why it is we suffer, then this story will not only captivate you, it may just open your eyes to a truth that could set you free. Find out what is in us all that makes us heed the calling.